Call this meeting to order. Where there's a quorum of council president at the time of 6 p.m. be it resolved this regular meeting held for business at the Massey District Community Center and Arena, and that the minutes of the regular meeting of November the 10th, 2020 be approved. After you move it,
I will move.
Wendy, you second it there?
Yes.
All in favor? Carried. Before we start the meeting there tonight, there, I'd like to give our condolences there to the families there that lost loved ones this week there. Wayne San Michel passed away there today due to health reasons there, and if anybody who was ever at the library there, they know Dolphus Toulouse there, he passed away, and that individual spent more time in this arena there with his grandchildren there. People like that there, you hate to see go there, and we don't know the health reasons, but there's a prime example of a fellow there who contributes so much for this community there, and he didn't even live in our community. And to Wally Maury there. We all knew that this virus would come to this municipality sooner or later there, because we got so many people there to leave this community every week there to go to work. Some go for weeks and some go for most just about a month there. They take all the precautions there, and Dwayne, as an example, who goes out west there, he has to get tested every time he comes home, but it only takes one individual when you're getting out of that airport there that affect the individual there, and he brings it home there. So hopefully there we don't let our guard down there, because we're in for another 6 months of hard winter there, and I imagine longer there, because they say there that we'll not see something come to existence for all of us there until next fall there, maybe at the earliest there. So please don't let your guard down there. It happens there, we forget there, but please stay safe there, because so many people have got health issues there that affects their health there, and Wally's a prime example there. 2 weeks later, it's so please be careful. Robert, you want to come forward there, please, to the podium there? Robert Stanky lives on the back lane there beside the railway track, and if anybody ever drives by down the lane there, you'll see he even takes the wheels off his trailer there. He takes every precaution there, but there he lost the trailer out of his yard there for some strange reason. I guess somebody wanted to use it there, and Robert wasn't quite happy about it there, and he hasn't found it yet there. But it's not just in Webwood there, it's around the whole community there, where people there are taking advantage and breaking into private property there, and I don't know how we can get a handle on it there. So Robert, you want to go ahead, please?
Thank you. Can you hear me with this on?
Yes.
Now the trailer I'm concerned about is this one. I'll pass it around if you want to look at it.
I've seen it in the stores.
I posted a reward of $1,000 for any information pertaining to its return. It was taken on the day before Halloween. I reported the theft on the day.
There's a switch on that microphone there, Robert. Maybe that'll help.
There you go.
That's it. Anyway, I see on your agenda there's an area about the protection of persons and property. Well, that's my bag, home security. Basically, I want my trailer back. Trailer represents $5,000. I just ordered a new one. That'll be $5,000. It wasn't insured because I thought everything was insured. But it was empty, but it had a license plate on it. So I guess it was only insured when I was pulling it behind my truck. It's one of those things about corporate conditions. So it's not insured. So $5,000 for the old one, $5,000 for the new one, no insurance. Plus, I've been running around all over trying to look for it myself. That's a few $100 in gasoline. I could now give everyone a guided tour of the back alleys, lanes. I didn't take my quad because my Jeep is, I know some quads that are bigger than my Jeep. Through Sagamok, down the River Road, all the way to Cutler, Agnew Lake, Apsey Lake, all the lakes. And I searched. What's really strange is that I have 3 OPP cards here. I won't name the officers. I don't know my legal position. Although at 3 o'clock today I was in Sudbury with my lawyer Glenn Sandberg, 144 Elm Street in Sudbury, who is a criminal lawyer. I do have experience with Mr. Sandberg in crime, because unfortunately, on May the 27th, my tenant and good friend, 38 years of age, Jonathan Ryan Davis, an Espinolian family and everything. And that day I found him dead in my bunkhouse, in a puddle of blood, with blood coming out of his ear, blood coming out of his nose, blood coming out of his mouth. I have not heard any result about the autopsy. I guess I'm not privy. I was just his landlord and his official government sponsor, and I held the bond, his surety. So I guess I haven't been privileged to that crime on my property, in my bunkhouse, on my property. That's not really about my trailer, but it's sort of about my trailer because it's about the culture around me. I'm not trying to solve the problems of the south of Chicago. I am trying to make a change in Wetwood, where I live. And this township is my township. I'm actually a native son. I was born here. I lived here until I was 10. I visited when I was older to go fishing in that. So I don't mean to be racist when I say it. I am a native son of this place. Been away for 60 years, traveling all over. Then I came back to the place I started to see what it truly had become. And I am disappointed. And and it's not just the trailer I've lost. In my association with the drug community, it's my fault. One time, I forgot to put the lock on the tongue of the trailer, so it was easy pickings. However, before it was easy picking, someone must have spotted it, known of it. Very useful trailer, customized. The kind of trailer that is in great demand around here. You know, utility trailers, you see them all over. They're hauling firewood, they're hauling rubbish to the dump. I don't take pride in saying that I'm a good customer at the landfill. And John, whatever his name is, I think he's a very nice guy. Cooperative. Sometimes even helps me with things like, well, you know what old mattresses are like. Anyway, I reported the theft. I wrote out a report. I dictated a report to this constable. Detailed report. This constable came to my house and Halloween night, he took some of the candies home for his kids and told me a few things that I probably wasn't privy to, but he told me a name, make and color of truck, license plate, address. Well, so I do what I do. I get in my Jeep and I look for that truck, that guy, that address, and my trailer, which is sort of unique. It's all customized. It's hard to mistake it. No way, impossible. I spent a whole day through Sagamunk and that. 705 River Street, Sagamunk. Well, River Street is just down there. I don't know if Hal Cummings lives on River Street or must, eh?
Yep.
And 705 was not between Bell and, is it Imperial or Government Road? It's just hard to starboard a little bit.
There's a river road on Sagamore.
Well, I thought the River Road was down here.
There's one on each side.
I was over there. The names are confusing. I mean, I even had a friend get on his cell phone, you know, the guide with the voice. And don't ever track something with your cell phone. You'll get into trouble. I don't mean physical trouble. I mean, you'll be going past things like beaver dams that are breaking and all that. So both these officers made contact with me. Both of them indicated. One said, I know where your trailer is, okay? The other one said, stopped it, went this way or that way, okay? All I'm asking for the Ontario Provincial Police, if you know where it is, if you stopped it and got the name and the plates in that, if you can't go and get it, why don't you give me the address and I'll go and pick it up? The cooperation I've had about this trailer at the OPP.
So Robert, how can we help you out there with your
With
problem?
my trailer?
With any problems you got there in regards to this?
Well, basically I'm talking about security, personal and home security, and it's all involved with this today, drug culture. The drug culture probably comes Toronto, Sudbury, here. And there are dealers and sellers and users. And I think a point of this artificial heroin, which is lethal, on the street, one point is $40. Takes 10 points to make a gram. But, you know, the kid on the street, I guess, has to pay the $40. The seller maybe gets it for 20. The dealer might get it for 10. It's this culture. The kid doesn't have money, so he steals. So it's an interaction between cash and theft and even taxes. Because a lot of these people that are homeless are probably homeless because of drugs, starting with marijuana. There are a lot of people, marijuana is legal now. So it's legal to have it, it's legal to grow it, but I don't think it's legal to sell it without a license. And there's another problem, and it all boils down to the drug, the theft, several levels of it's an industry. It's probably the biggest industry in town. I would bet, I'm a sporting man, I would bet that the drug business right here is probably bigger, cash-wise, than Burke's Shell, Poirier's grocery store, Rona building materials. It's a big industry. And the result is a dead young person. I think generally between the ages of 20 and 40, 20-some, 30-some. A lot of them with a family background in the area. And I can tell you that for sure because my friend Jonathan Ryan Davis had parents and all that at the mill in Espanola. What was the result of that? I found him dead in a pool of blood on the floor. Drugs, money, theft. It wasn't just my trailer I've lost. A couple of chainsaws and a compressor. But that's just small change. I guess the OPP don't have time to be troubled about a utility trailer, which to me is very handy because now I have to haul my quad and my sled around. Now I have to buy a new one. No problem there. The point is, it's not their sled, it's my sled. And I am a taxpayer. And in this township, we taxpayers, I guess, give them $690-some thousand annually. Well, in my opinion, that money is not well spent. I know they're looking at the big picture. And I know, on the radio, the police officer in Gore Bay was killed by an animal of some kind. The news paints a very good picture. Like the CBC, they'll detail it. What they don't say is why. Why did that policeman get shot? Because of probably the drug business. I get upset like that because I was very fond of Jonathan Ryan Davis. The kid had talent. He could drive a quad with wheels or tracks or a sled. It was like watching him drive was like poetry. Anyway, home security and property. This is a picture down just east of my place. This is what it looks like. I took pictures. I can't believe that this isn't an issue for a bylaw officer, a building inspector, building permits. This is what I look at every day. And I know some of the people that come and go every day. This, I think, the township has the authority to instruct a bylaw officer, a dog catcher, whatever. Because it's all involved. Now, I have been associating with drug addicts and drug sellers, probably at my own risk. I got the names of people who use, sell, steal. Got a couple of lists. It's funny. The one list and the second list often have the same name.
So Robert, in closing there, what would you like to say?
I'd like to say, I understand that the OPP are involved in a big picture. And I guess they need, every time I look at the station at that corner of Highway 17 and 6 in Espanola, I see 6, 7, 8 expensive cars. I would guess 200,000 plus each. Parked. I don't know why I have to pay taxes for parked cars at that price. And if the township pays the OPP $690,000 annually, I would suggest putting it up to bid. Bid. If you put it up to bid, I'll bid on it for that kind of money and a secure contract. I could easily go to a bank and get a line of credit, a loan, whatever, to make a small force to do the job that the OPP is too busy doing big things. What would I do? I'd replace a lot of those expensive cars, maybe with just a quad. Give a young man or an old man who's healthy a quad to go around and look. All he needs is a quad and a cell phone, and he's in business. Round the bastards up with quads. It would be a hell of a lot cheaper than $100,000 cars. You wouldn't even have to have the Hugo Boss uniforms. You could get a perfectly good skidoo suit or quad suit for $1,000. And a cell phone and a quad, you could find out what's going on in the back alleys. You could, because I noticed during this virus thing, most citizens of value park their cars, go back and forth when necessary. It's really strange that at my place, as soon as it gets dark, the quads fire up. And I blatantly see young people, 20, 30 years of age, walking around as if nothing's happening. I guess this drug business has made me a little annoyed. Basically, it's not about the trailer, or the chainsaws, or the compressor. It's basically about Jonathan Ryan Davis. What else can I say?
We understand Robert there. because-
Pardon me?
We understand Robert there because there's lots of us there had stuff stolen there, and we reported it there and never got it back there, so
Right.
we
well,
understand.
I mean, what is it, RCMP or OPP to serve and protect? Well, from what I'm seeing, and I guess what I can prove, they don't do the job, they're not worth the money. They look good, very efficient. Actually, the only people I think that the OPP intimidates is the honest citizen, hoping he doesn't get a speeding ticket on the Lee Valley Road. Maybe he's going 50 kilometers, not 40 kilometers. The only people the OPP intimidate is the citizen taxpayer. And I don't know why we citizen taxpayers put up with it. Somebody must be able to tell someone in the law enforcement business to make a change. Are there any questions? Can I answer any questions, things about which I've found?
We hear you, Mr. Stanky, for sure, and I'm very sorry for your loss. That must have been very tragic for you.
It was.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's not the trailer.
Yeah, for sure.
What can we do about it? Well, I mean, Webwood. The census of Webwood. 2006, 490. 2011, 458. 2016, 588. Number of units or houses, single-family dwellings, whatever, 219. Well, I don't think the census anymore is possibly accurate because of a lot of these, I'm going to use a bad term, cockroaches. They're swimming all around the town. They're staying in houses like the pictures I've passed around, dealing in drugs, pushing them, using them, and probably spreading virus, the real virus for sure. Because in my opinion, the drugs are a virus themselves. I don't know how in Webwood, I don't know about Massey or Walford. Frankly, I always thought Walford was a frame of mind. How do you do a census to figure out exactly how many people you're dealing with in this kind of a culture?
Robert, we'll see what we can do there in regards to your trailer there, and we know there's a problem in every community in regards to drugs there, so we'll pass that information on to OPP and see if we can't do something there in regards to that, so.
You know, I really think I've done that. They just tell me to go away, don't take the law into your own hands. Oh, Bob, be careful, they'll kill you. Well, good luck to them. One other thing, bylaw 214/28, subsection 2.02, bylaw complaint. That those pictures I passed around, that crack house, and everybody in town knows that. And I guess the OPP knows it too. That property must break every rule, bylaw rule in the book. Abandoned cars. Why can't the OPP take the license plates and trace the ownership and the history of those cars? That's probably the most disgusting place in Webwood. Disguised as a project, a development with building permits. The weasel with that property, did he go to an architect to have it designed so that the new cement foundation at the back, has it gone through civil engineering? No, the township can. You might even have to pick the dog catcher of that property because they have a dog that, well, you know the signs of a drug house is, it's a wretched building, a trailer usually, whole bunch of children's toys out front, backed up by a pit bull. I probably said too much.
Okay, thank you, Robert. We'll take your concerns there and we'll pass them on to the people there that need to be told there.
Can you give me a name?
Well, we'll have to talk to Ontario Provincial Police there and ask them there, is there any update on your trailer there, and they can get back to you.
Can you give me a name?
Well, I have no name there available there. All we can do is try.
I know, but sometimes that's not enough. I called each one of you individuals before this meeting to tell you that I was coming. I also got in touch with Michael Manson, and he told, or his office rather, told me to get back to his office after this meeting, which I will. I guess you have to, maybe Massey, Webwood, Walford's too small, maybe you have to go to Queen's Park. I don't know. But I do know one thing. I guess I'm a lot like Eldon Stinson. I got a burr under my saddle. It's hard scratching a burr when you're sitting on it. But I'm going to continue. And I'm not going to stop. If I only had the top, I guess the top guy of the police is the, not the Auditor General, but like the guy that's in charge of all law enforcement, the jails, the police. He'd be in Toronto.
It's the commissioner.
The commissioner would be the OPP. I'm talking about all law.
The Attorney General.
Attorney General, yes. I think I used to know his name.
Okay, thank you, Robert there.
Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you.
Be good.
We shall now hold a public meeting pursuant to Section 34 of the Planning Act to consider proposed zoning bylaw amendment. The council meeting is now adjourned for the purpose of a public meeting. Move it, Susan, there,
Move it.
and Dale,
Yep.
all in favor? Carried. Be resolved that pursuant to Section 34 of the Planning Act, the public meeting is now officially open for the purpose of hearing comments regarding the proposed amendments to the zoning bylaw of the Township of Sables-Spanish Rivers as follows. File number ZBA 20-02 is applied for by Tim and Sylvia Weatherly for the property in Victoria Township, Section 18, parcel 27277, Plan 53R-8966, Part 1, at 446 Waterfalls Road. Kevin, you move it there? Ben, you second it there? All in favor? Carried. Advise as to the method by which the notice of the meeting was given and the dates of the notice were given.
The notice of this public meeting was advertised on October 27th in the around and about, and was circulated to the various prescribed agencies and landowners within 120 meters of the subject property. We've received the application for a zoning amendment for property in Victoria Township on Waterfalls Road. The purpose of the application is to request various amendments for the purpose of the construction of an additional accessory building on the property. The requested amendments are increased lot coverage for this property of 0.45 acres. The 10% coverage equates to 1,960 square feet. The request is to allow for the lot coverage to be 2,367 square feet, which is an increase to up to 12%. And I have a note below that says, it is noted that this amendment request is based on the lot area of 0.45 of an acre. At the present time, the Weatherly's land is 0.6 of an acre in size. However, through ongoing negotiations and discussions with the MNRF in their planning of the new dam and bridge, the Weatherlys are being requested to transfer 0.01 acre to the ministry for the purpose of this project. The only difference in the zoning approval is that the maximum lot coverage shall be 12% instead of 11.8% for the 0.45 of an acre instead of the 4.6. So this will keep the property in zoning compliance once the transaction takes place with the MNRF. The other requests are a reduced interior side yard setback from 4 meters to 1.5, a reduced front yard setback with road frontage from 15 meters to 3, and to locate an accessory building in the front yard, as Section 4C provides that no accessory building or structure shall be erected closer to the front yard line than the minimum front yard setbacks required for the main building. Public Works has asked to review this and have indicated that this proposal would not have any negative effects on our road maintenance. There are already 2 accessory structures along the road in the front yard that are not an issue, and the sketch of this proposal would show that the new building would be set back slightly further than the existing ones. Pursuant to Section 8 of the application form, the applicants have attached the comment sheets from the neighbors as part of their public consultation with the neighborhood. The official plan policies for a resource recreation district provide for residential use. This property has been developed as a residential property for many years, and this application shall have no impact on the policies regarding lake development, capacity, and lake management.
Are there any persons present who wish to make oral or written submissions on the proposed bylaw? Please give your name and address to the clerk. Yes.
Okay, Tim Weatherly, that's my wife Sylvia Weatherly. It's all in the package. I don't know what you want me to say. You want me to read what sent around all to the neighbors?
No, we already read that.
Yeah, so I have nothing more to input unless someone has some questions for us.
In regards to that building, it's not a seat container, a modified seat container?
No, as of right now, we're looking towards one of those hickory buildings,
Okay,
which I talked to our past building inspector, and he said they were good to go. I talked to Dan Rive, and he says that they're good to go, they'll pass the inspection. He said they need anchors, that's what both of them told us, they need anchors. So, yeah, no, it's not a sea container.
Okay, because there, you got a beautiful area there, and I hate to see a sea container stuck
Yeah,
there with a
yeah.
name on the side of it, and
Yeah,
wouldn't look good.
we've actually gone down to where they build them in Verner.
Yeah.
And we've metal roof, siding, the floor, we've increased the floor to 12 inches rather than 16 inches. The rafters, instead of 24 inches, we went to 16 inches. So it's as nice as we can get it built.
Are you planning on taking a couple of them small sheds out there, or you?
Well, we have the 2 sheds there. We're going to, if we get this put in, we're going to remove 1 shed and to move it off the property, which is part in that picture there that we put. And the 1 shed that's in our driveway now, we're going to move it to make it look nicer. Yeah, we've been working on it for the last 7 years, trying to make it look nicer. And
Yeah,
but-
you got a nice area there, and you hate to see it,
yeah,
sea
we're,
container or some,
yeah, we're always trying to improve it. Anybody drives by, they see us, we work hard there, constantly trying to improve it.
is
Oh,
any
yeah.
counselor got any concerns there?
Of the 2 sheds, you say you're gonna remove, there's, one is larger than the other?
Yeah, there's 2 sheds in that picture.
Yes.
Those sheds aren't actually going to disappear off the property. There's 1 shed that's not in that picture because when the garage comes, or when the building we're going to put there is, we're going to.
The shed will be in the way?
No, it's off to the side. It's an older one, which we've painted up to keep up to snuff kind of thing. But we're going to disappear because that's where we keep our side-by-side. Keep it locked up. Yeah, and so once we have the storage shed, that's what we're building it there for, is for our side-by-side and snow machine. And
Like, so the other 2 sheds are still stable?
the 2 sheds that are there, we're going to move 1 over here to make our driveway look
Balanced?
bigger.
Yeah.
And balanced, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody got any other concern there?
No.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? That the public meeting is now officially closed and council meeting is reconvened there. Kevin, you move it there? Move it. Glenn, do you second it there?
Yes.
All in favor? Carried. Whereas council is satisfied that the notice were given in accordance with the Planning Act respecting zoning bylaw amendments, file number 20-02, is applied for by Tim and Sylvia Weatherly for the property in Victoria Township, Section 18, parcel 27277, Plan 53R-8966, Part 1, at 446 Waterfalls Road. And whereas sufficient information has been made available at this public meeting for the public to understand generally the zoning proposal being considered, be it resolved that due consideration of the proposed bylaw has been given, and council hereby concludes this application shall be approved, effect of the public submissions, none received. Pat, will you move it there?
I so move.
Susan, you second it?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Be it resolved that bylaw 2020-46 being a bylaw to amend the zoning bylaw for the property in Victoria Township be read a first and second time. Pat, you move it there?
Yes, I move.
Dale, you second it there?
Yes, I do.
All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that bylaw 2020-46 being a bylaw to amend the zoning bylaw for the property in Victoria Township be read a third and final time, passed on open council. Kevin, you move it there? Susan, you second it there?
Second it.
All in favor? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
There's some section 357 applications that were prepared, and Ruth has prepared a package for council. It's just a housekeeping item that is going to
in regards to a fire and building was demolished. Anybody got any concerns in regards to that, Jared? Be it resolved that pursuant to section 357 of the Municipal Act 2001, taxes shall be adjusted as per the tax schedule. Dale, will you move it there?
Yes, I will.
Susie, second it there?
Second it?
All in favor? Carried.
At the request of Councillor Rivers, we updated and circulated the township land inventory schedule for your review.
What were you looking for, Dale? Was some that we could get rid of, or?
Excuse me, I think I mentioned it a few meetings ago that I was wanting to see what we had for redundant properties gained from taxes and perhaps select a few properties that would be of no value to us as a township that somebody might want to buy to build a home on because of all the increase in real estate sales that have taken place.
Yeah, I agree. Looks like we're sitting on a lot of property.
Well, there's not a lot of it that's buildable or.
That's good. No.
Yeah, it's all
That's
small stuff or rocks or.
Underwater or
Yeah.
buildable, yeah.
All right, well, it was interesting to review the list.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but there's a
There are
couple
some-
there.
There's some
a
in
few.
Webwood that are.
There's some value there,
Yeah.
I saw that. Something we may want to think of.
I agree.
Closer
Well,
look
what
at.
I could do is put a list
Yeah.
together of the ones that you may consider
Yeah.
for possible surplus property disposal,
Yeah,
and put it together in a chart so that we could advertise it.
sure, that'd be good. I'd like to see
Yeah,
that.
sounds good.
Like, something for us to discuss anyway.
And hopefully somebody wants to build a house.
Yeah,
Anything else, Dale, in regards to that?
No, I'm happy that we got a start on that and I'm hoping that we end up maybe selecting a lot or two somewhere that we could put up for sale and see what happens and get the ratepayers a little return on their money.
Review resolution 2019-134.
yeah, I requested that. I have a problem with that resolution because if somebody has to continuously come back on the same issue, it means nothing's getting done about the job. So
That's correct.
I would like to have that resolution rescinded. And I understand why it was put forward in the first place, because delegations were getting out of hand. And I would suggest perhaps putting a time limit on delegations instead of having that resolution. I find that resolution undemocratic. It's like, if somebody has to come back time and time again, it means we're not doing our job.
I also feel, Kevin, that the same way about the resolution, but I would like to add that even, I think it's a good idea to rescind it, but on the fact that when somebody is requesting a delegation, that they give us some kind of foresight into
Yeah.
what they want to discuss so that we can have some answers for them and satisfy them at that time.
Yeah.
Currently, what's happening is they're requesting a delegation and not giving us information to process and look at before they speak, so we have no answers for them.
Exactly.
So I think it's beneficial that we would do that when somebody's requesting a delegation.
Yep.
Our procedural bylaw does require written summary of what they would like to address council with.
But they're
So-
not doing
But
it.
But they're not doing it.
No.
If council wishes, I will refrain from putting them on the agenda until I receive their written background.
Well, I think we have to do that.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Is
then
that-
I mean, go ahead, Dale.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, is that something that we can put in our page in the,
Yeah, it's on the
local paper?
it's on the website all the time, but yeah, we'll
Okay,
highlight it.
Just
sure.
so that somebody doesn't end up running out of time to present something because they don't know the,
Okay, we'll highlight the delegation procedure for them.
thank you.
I'm not concerned that they're running out of time, I'm just concerned that they're not providing the information so that we can be prepared.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say that the time is adjustable by us.
Yes,
If it's solid information that they're bringing to us, then we can listen a little longer.
It is, yeah.
But the last meeting, Stinson had a concern in regards to them sea containers there. If he comes back in 6 months and we haven't did anything there, we gotta at least hear him there and say, by the way, what are we doing there? And have some
Yeah.
kind of a paper trail to answer him there.
Well, yeah, but we can't just say, you can't bring it up again for a year, that's,
no,
I,
No,
I
it's
totally
it's something
agree.
the building department will
yeah.
carry through with.
But I do want that resolution rescinded. I'd like to put a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, be it resolved that council deems it appropriate to hereby rescind resolution 2019-134 with respect to delegations on previous addressed matters there. Kevin, you move it there?
I move.
Sue, you second it there?
I second it.
All in favor there? Motion carried.
Very good. We can work around that.
Yeah, because Eldon had a concern there tonight in regards to a dog problem there, and our bylaw enforcement officer addressed it there.
That's good.
So
Yeah,
hope,
good.
hopefully he doesn't come back there next week or whatever on the same,
Yeah,
it was,
Derek.
Derek,
Derek, it wasn't Eldon.
and, it's still ongoing. There was injuries to a person, and so it's much more detailed than, that, so I'm just surprised he's not here.
Okay.
if you guys go back.
Provided council with another, a regular COVID review and update report. I won't read the whole report, but the, one point in here that is fairly well discussed, and I have circulated with council the draft bylaws, is to allow for electronic participation by members in their procedural bylaw. Today I had circulated an updated draft. Before this one, council had indicated that they prefer in-person meetings and that we would provide for an optional electronic attendance by individual councilors if they so wished, or if one of you's had a cold, you could call in instead of attending personally. With the mayor's inquiries this morning, we went further on this and also put in a new section that would allow for full electronic participation by members, and that may be considered as required under circumstances such as where it's not safe or possible for in-person meetings due to weather events, for health and safety considerations, such as the one our community may be considered to, be in a situation right now. For restrictions or guidelines set out by Public Health Submarine District, the OPP, or the Province of Ontario, or the activation of the Emergency Control Group, or a declared emergency by any level of government or health unit. So in these circumstances, the mayor would have would be able to review this, consult, and we would have full mandatory electronic participation meetings. In this, we would advise delegates that they could also participate electronically, but the rest of the delegation process would still have to be complied with. That meaning they would have to give us their information ahead of time, just like they would now. So this amendment to this bylaw would allow for either.
Okay,
For
so,
either option.
so just so I'm clear, so we have the choice of attending in person or electronically if we don't feel well or whatever, or if the state changes of things. And delegations can either come in person or electronically, or
What I
just.
have put in here for the optional, if council is okay doing this, we do this. If you individually want to stay home and be able to participate electronically,
Yes.
then you advise me within 24 hours and
I could
just
do
to
it.
keep track.
Okay.
So there is a section in here that says if the majority of members are not physically present in the location where the meeting is taking place, delegations shall participate electronically subject to provisions of section 8, meaning their delegation process. So if it's only in the optional version, I would have to be in attendance where the meeting is being held,
I see.
okay? But if I only have one or two counselors here with me,
No.
then
Yeah.
we'll have delegates attend electronically as
Okay.
well,
Okay, understood.
okay?
Yep, thank you.
We're in a changing times now, so we better have it all in place. Might never need it there, but
Absolutely.
Well, to go along with this as well, I've been talking to Ann about our whole internet situation at the Township Hall. And, I mean, it's time we have video and audio. It's time we have something better. The audio, I mean, people can listen to the recording the next day, but they can't tell them speaking half the time. The audio is poor. For $1,000 or less, you can have high quality video and audio. And not necessarily to stream right on the minute, even if it's just recorded and put out the next day. But we have to make that step.
I agree. I agree, Kevin.
We can't wait for that any longer. The price it's not outrageous. I remember a couple of years ago, we were talking $50,000 or something. It's just not that anymore. It's high quality and for under $1,000. I've been speaking to people, and I'd actually like to put it on the agenda for the next meeting to discuss further.
Well, in this bylaw, I did amend a section that allowed for the audio to say
Yeah.
audio/video recording.
I saw that. There's a provision.
So that's provided for.
Yes.
Now we just have to look at the meat of it, the actual physical equipment
and our internet
capability.
service
Yeah.
and whatnot.
But I
There's
don't
no
want to be
issue
dragging
as
our
long as
heels
we're
on
up
it.
here.
No, I don't want to drag this out for 6 months. It's
No.
like,
How fast do you think we can get her up and running?
Well, I don't know, and it's the one that's going to be doing the research on this.
well, Ann has to look at the contract with Bell and see.
That I did, so it would be about, they cap it at $500 to get on the contract, so we're below that, we're about $385 to break that's our DSL
Okay.
with Bell. But I have to look at other options and what we can get,
What's available, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so hopefully by the new year, you think? Is that a ballpark?
I would think so, beginning of the new year.
Because I mean, the equipment can be purchased and set up and nothing like, let's start with the internet and then we'll go from there because like I said, the audio recordings are horrible. You know, people sitting up front can be heard fairly well, but anybody around Pat or I and some people know our voices, but other people don't. And it's important we need this transparency, and I think that cost's not a barrier anymore.
did you ever look into Rogers there? Are they a better deal, or
Make
Okay.
a note of that.
could we have the two companies in a building,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you should look into ExploreNet as well.
I
and-
did, I think that's gonna be fairly expensive.
Yeah.
I got it just a ballpark.
As well, Starlink is starting. It's just an experimental stage right now, but you'll be able to get basically unlimited internet for $129 a month. It's a little steep, but for us, I don't think it's too steep. It's going to be in a beta form for now, which is experimental, but they're already taking emails and addresses to see if you're eligible and perhaps do a test run on you, so. I mean, another bunch of satellites went up last night, so it's coming.
But if we get the cost from other suppliers there, maybe we can get a cheaper rate for Bill in
Maybe.
the end.
Maybe. I think there's some upfront costs, some equipment, but it's not crazy, it's like.
It's about $650.
Something like that, yeah.
That could probably fall under our COVID funding too, right?
Gail, you might as well speak.
I've had a lot of ratepayers complain about the poor quality of audio. Seems to me that we were gonna use something that Espanola had, but they told us that it wasn't a foolproof system either. So, and I know that we had, like Kevin said a few years ago, we were hearing numbers up to 50,000. So I don't know where this 1,000 or less comes from, but I'd certainly like to see us approach some of our neighboring township offices or town offices to see what's working for them so that we just buy once and be done. And the other thing I wanted to mention was you mentioned a whole bunch of delivery services, but Sagmock has a bingo that's run on YouTube. There's other organizations running Chase the Ace and whatnot on YouTube. Is that a possibility in that direction? I'm told it's clear, the audio, the video and the audio are great is what I'm told. But that's way beyond my realm of understanding, so.
Well, I'm not sure about YouTube, but,
I think
Espanola
YouTube is just
Lion?
where it puts it out.
Yeah.
Like, that's where we use,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
have a YouTube account and we
Yeah.
post
Yeah.
the minutes on our
That's the same
YouTube
thing they're
account.
doing already.
Well, the Espanola Lions do their bingo through YouTube right now. It's live
Yeah.
every Wednesday night. And then Sagmock's doing one at 7:30 on Wednesday night through YouTube as well, so.
Public health submarine districts, our meetings are virtual and they're held on Skype visits. And
Yeah.
it's very easy, as long as you have a device, it doesn't matter.
well, then that's the thing. Once, if we have to go to virtual meetings, this tablet,
Yeah,
there's a provision, you can, up to 32 of us can
Yeah.
meet and look, and we can see each other on the
Oh,
screen.
yeah, it's just
So
like
you
a
can
Zoom
include
meeting.
ratepayers, delegations.
Well, we'll get in, explore it there and come
Yeah.
back with a,
and with that application, there is no time limit, whereas like if you did a Zoom meeting, you have to block in hours, and if you're over, then it shuts down and you have to come back in,
Yeah.
so.
But I mean, the library, all
Yeah.
through the spring, we had Zoom meetings and it went well. And it may very well come to that soon again. So
Yeah.
it's time for change.
Municipal insurance renewal for 2021 has come in with the Franktown Company. As you are aware, last year was the first year in many years.
Excuse me, sorry, Kim, did we move and second that?
No, it's going to be under bylaws with the
Oh,
other.
okay.
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
So as a result of the submission that was accepted last year, Frank Cowan came in less than our previous insurance supplier had. And this year's renewal proposal for 2021 is still less than what the competition had been last year. And that is including new equipment that we bought, and it includes the backhoe lease that we took part in this year. There is one issue on this, though, that I'm also putting on for council's consideration, is the facility user group solution option with a deposit premium of $750. And I had circulated to you as well the memo that went to the Economic Development Committee meeting last night when they had requested insurance for farmer's market. Probably isn't the right term, it should be flea market, because it's my understanding
Yes.
that it's not to be
Yes.
strictly a farmer's market. Apparently there was some concern or some questions of whether or not the Ag Society could provide insurance at different opportunities than what the municipality can. But if the flea market is going to remain a municipal event, a municipally owned event, then we will go through our municipal insurance
Yeah.
company.
Yes.
Unless the Ag Society wants to, unless council wants to relinquish the event to the Ag Society, then they can pursue whatever insurance they
That's not the plan at this point.
No, I
for
think
sure.
we kind of agreed that
Yeah.
we're gonna have to cover that.
So this $750 will cover vendors. We will need to know who the vendors are and when they're gonna be attending,
Yes.
what wares they're going to be selling. That was also part of the insurance provisions 2 summers ago, or, you know,
Right,
when
yeah.
we did it last time with the last insurance company. And this also will cover, the Ag Society, because it is on their lands as well. And the agreement that we have to have with the Ag Society was very, general, and it's just basically with regards to the liability and insurance
Right.
issues, yeah.
Good.
If we have any other events during the year, does it, have it covered as well?
It can cover other events as well. There was a list, I think I'm not sure if I gave it, but there is other events that if volunteers are included or participants, such as vendors in the flea market, then they could also be covered under this facility user solution policy, if council wants to extend that to them. The $750 will probably be increased, the more activity that it is used for and the more participants that there are.
Good.
Would it be cheaper to go with a 2 or 3 year insurance request?
I don't know if they can provide a multi-year like that. They could probably give us a base rate, but every year we're changing equipment. We're taking some things away, we're adding new things. Plus there seems to be consistency though in the 2 to 3% increase every year for, property value increases and so on. So they may be able to give you a base rate, but I don't think that they could give you the premium. I had a hard enough time getting it now for January.
Because you don't want to be at the mercy of an insurance company at the end of the day, that's the.
Yeah, but we are at the mercy of the insurance company.
Yeah.
Okay, be it resolved that we accept the proposal from Frank Cowan Company for municipal insurance requirements for the year 2021 at a quoted premium of $110,135 plus applicable taxes. That we agree to further purchase the facility user group solution option at a deposit premium of $750. Glenn, do you move it there? And
Yes.
Kevin second it there?
Yeah, plus that.
All in favor? Carried.
At the last council meeting, it was requested that we look at the additional services that Rainbow District Animal Services and Bylaw Enforcement had been willing to provide to the municipality when they put in a proposal for the property standards bylaw enforcement. So I have recirculated their proposal to council for your review. In the proposal, they included a proposal for full bylaw enforcement services at the annual rate of $25,712. And council has accepted for solely just for property standards, the $24,105 annual rate. The full service proposal could include enforcement of noise if we had a bylaw, parking including winter control, zoning, and other bylaws council deems necessary to provide enforcement for. And some of these bylaws wouldn't be on, they would have to come from the municipality, like the parking and so on. As far as being notified, the municipal office should be the ones to, in contrast to the property standards where it's a written signed complaint that could go directly to him. These other bylaws, we would probably have more control over what we want him to be enforcing once he has that authority. So if council's in agreement to this, I can ask for an agreement to be drafted and supplied to us.
Well, it's, yeah, it's
The
not
one-
for not much more money.
Yeah, that's right.
We
Yeah,
can get a lot more.
Absolutely.
And the one thing that he said was that while he's doing property standards, it's quite easy to roll something else into it, like at the same time type thing.
Now, would we be able to use him to police for, building permits as well? Or is that solely the
Building
the
department.
building department?
Yeah.
Another thing too, like I know we don't have noise bylaws now, but should we decide to put some in, would
He said he would, and I would ask for his assistance or opinion in how to draft a noise bylaw to be effectively enforceable.
Could
Because
you
that's
do
been
that?
the-
I think that's a really good idea.
That's been the
Well-
stumbling block before, was how do we
Yeah,
draft it so
How do
that,
we
exactly.
enforce it?
so that you can enforce a certain noise or a level of noise?
I really think that's important because, most of the complaints are getting are, the level of the noise, okay? It's not
Yeah.
the time of day or night, it's the level of the
Yeah,
noise
yeah.
that's, generated by music or drumming or whatever. It's not industrial noise, and these, so it's a totally different thing. So it would be nice to have somebody, with some experience to draft that up.
Yeah,
I agree. We need to revisit that, get some information.
He gave us a good report there in regards to that dog problem there. I'd like to know if there's any other problems there in this community there in regards to dogs. Or is it just the one area that we're having a concern?
Nothing, yeah, there hasn't been any concerns or complaints come to our office, specifically like that.
There has been some, complaints that some people have notified me about, but he was diligent and went there and addressed the situation right away. Some dogs at large and stuff, so he was there and
Was that
addressed them
Massey?
and,
Was that Massey?
actually Walford.
Oh,
So, so he has been addressing the issues as far as talking to the owners and, doing his
And
thing.
I must say, since he was appointed at the last meeting, I believe it was the last meeting, 2 meetings ago,
mhm.
he has spent much time looking at, existing, correspondence that's come in.
Good.
And he has spent much time in Webwood at
Yeah.
concerning places.
he's been seen.
Good.
So
That is good news.
people know he's out there.
Yeah,
Yes,
especially Webwood right now.
I'll say Eldon Stinson called me and thanked me
Yeah,
for having him there, and he's there.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you see them all over the community.
Oh, yeah.
You know what, I mean, my corner there's a favorite for dropping off pets. And I mean, I've had to call him a number of times for litters of kittens and stuff like that. And I got nothing but good things to say about the service.
Too, I've had that happen too, and
Yeah.
nothing but good service, for
Yeah.
sure.
Now, if he can tackle our property standards, that'd be great. He's already started, so that's good.
Okay, be it resolved that we accept the proposal from Rainbow District Animal Services and Bylaw Enforcement for full bylaw enforcement services to the township, including property standards as per the proposal, that we request an agreement to provide for council endorsement. Pat, will you move it there?
I so moved.
Susan, you second it
I'll
there?
second it.
All in favor? Carried.
I put it on the agenda for the Tube Lake Dam and Bridge Replacement Project. Basically, it's just an update and some information for council at this time. I guess that this project that is several years in the making is being resurrected again this year. And I have been contacted by Infrastructure Ontario, who is leading the project with regards to the due diligence and property acquisitions for the project. So there are a couple properties that they are requesting to purchase from the municipality for this work. As I indicated, most of the land that we have that they want is already land underwater, so we'll see what they come back with for the offer to purchase and go from there.
It's long overdue to be changed there or fixed.
For sure, that's been on our
Yeah.
radar for a How many years?
5 years at least. Yeah. Not more.
Okay, we dealt with the zoning amendment, so I have the bylaws that will amend the procedural bylaw to allow for the electronic participation by members as just discussed. And I also have a bylaw for the appointment of building officials, and this will remove the official that we last had that left, and the new one that the town of Espanola has hired. Espanola has hired Jeff Lapierre, and he is from Espanola, to be the building inspector to service our community as well as Nairn and Baldwin. He has been working with us now for 2 weeks, and I'm telling you, that office looks pretty good.
Good.
He's on the go.
Awesome. Yeah.
It is.
For sure.
I was just a little confused. There was 2 names there?
The other one is Mark Leclerc.
Yeah.
He is already an inspector for Espanola. He works with Danny in Espanola.
Oh, okay.
But he came and he worked for us during the time that Mike Campbell left and Jeff started. So in times of absences for holidays or whatever,
Then
I
you'll
have
fill
all
in.
3 of them down so that they
Oh.
can all cover.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, anybody? Be it resolved that the following bylaws be read a first and second time. Bylaw 2020-47 being a bylaw to amend the procedure bylaw. Bylaw 2020-18 being a bylaw to appoint a chief building official and a building inspector. Wendy, you move it there?
Yes.
Kevin, you second it there? All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved the following bylaws be read a third and final time, passed over council. Bylaw 2020-47 being a bylaw to amend the procedure bylaw. Bylaw 2020-48 being a bylaw to appoint a chief building official and building inspectors. Dale, you move it there?
Yes, I will.
Susie, you second it there?
I'll second.
All in favor? Carried. The last meeting, we talked about the infrastructure there, and we're gonna put some money into this building there in regards to COVID there. The way the government's going there and the numbers are going up, I think we should be looking seriously at doing something at the clinic there and having something in place there in case they do come up with more funding there. Because that bottom has never been overhauled there, and the equipment's been the same equipment there since you built that building there, so. Or unless somebody got another place there that we can look at there.
That's important. You're talking about the lower level there?
The lower level there, to get that up to grade there, and upstairs as well there. There's, most like if you're talking to the doctors and that there, the equipment needs to be changed there because of the years of it there, and maybe there's upgrades there that we don't even know. But if we don't have a plan in place there, and when the money does come, we're,
So we need to have a conversation with the staff there
Yeah.
and see what they recommend.
well, if council's in
Proceed
agreement
meeting.
there, we get Kim there to
Yeah.
start the,
I'm in
Are you
agreement. I
talking
mean,
about for this particular application?
no,
Okay.
no, the yeah.
I'm thinking,
Yeah,
no.
the way things are going there, the government's gonna keep throwing money there to try to solve the,
You wanna have a shelf-ready project?
Well, it'd be
ready to
nice
go.
there.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
yeah, because what other building can we do?
Yep.
Absolutely.
So let's talk to them about that. I mean, I talk to them fairly regularly there. They're happy as punch with their new generator and the shelter around it. I had a look at it the other day. But absolutely, if we can have something ready to take advantage of some money. If we need upgrades, let's do it.
Well, what we could do then for the 2021 capital budget is put some consulting, or not, I don't want to say engineering, but professional consulting or architectural
Yeah.
assistance to put something together so that we have it for an application,
Yeah.
so that we know what we would be doing.
Sounds
Like, I
good,
mean,
yeah.
do you think it's structural or just like cosmetic or what?
Well, it'd be cosmetic there,
Yeah.
and there's dampness
Like, I mean-
down the stairs there, whether the back wall is leaking there because
Yeah,
the
there is
water.
there is a leak by that one
Okay.
back entrance.
Yeah, actually, I think
And the
Marla.
setup is not useful anymore, like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not.
There's a lot of wasted space there
Yeah.
that's not being used.
I mean, as far as equipment goes, if they need equipment, we need to know, you know?
No, Marla's good at letting us know, but I think they got computers last year
Okay.
through our capital, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll be looking at that again.
As far as updating the basement area, I think that's, we can't do too much down there because of clients being able to get down there for that, but we could utilize it for other purposes.
Well, with our age of technology, we could use that as a classroom for them or something. So like e-learning, whatever, that we could set it up as an actual meeting room downstairs for them, you know?
Yeah, lots of different things, for sure.
Anybody got any other concerns there? In regards to our website, could we update the front there to tell people there to be cautious there, help prevent there the, so people don't have to go and hunt for it there, you go and, that,
It's, some of the information is still there, but you have to scroll down to
Yeah, yeah.
see it, so I can do
it
something.
was right on the top there.
Yeah,
By the way, take all precautions there, and we do have a problem in there.
Just a
Cause-
note. Go ahead.
Because they said there was only one building in this municipality where the problem started, but is it just the one, or is it more than one, I don't know. Because they all work together there, you go to the back line there, him and, they both work together, so. Better be proactive there with all the people that are moving around. We don't have to put any names there, just say aggravate. What were you gonna say, Kevin?
Just a few things about the library. We've extended, well, for one, it's all curbside pickup only now until further notice, and we've offered our friends at Sagamok free membership because their library isn't open.
That's
Hasn't
good.
been open since
Oh,
the
yeah?
COVID stuff
Yeah.
started.
Well, that's good,
And
that's
as well, we purchased an AED machine, and that's arriving this
Okay.
week, and all the employees will be given training as well as a first aid course, and that's on Saturday, as well as any board members that would like to be trained on it.
What kind of machine was that?
An AED machine, artificial,
Oh,
We have it
defibrillator, okay,
deleted.
defibrillator.
yeah.
That right there, right?
$1,000, and he's gonna train everybody and give everybody a first aid course. Price was almost too good to be true. I
And
forget his name.
he does, the courses, government.
Looks like we have a really good CEO there now. I didn't think it could get much better than the last one, but boy, I'm wrong.
good. That's good.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
she's on the ball.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
very on the ball. You're gonna see big changes there in the next while.
That machine saved a life in Wiki there, and it saved a life at the outdoor rink there at Killarney there. So if you,
And
they are an asset.
it saved, Lori Sonnenberg's husband's life as well at the Eskimo Legion.
Oh,
Where is that, right?
Liz
Ron?
Sonnenberg.
Oh, what did I say?
You said.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Liz Melcher, I said Lori Sonnenberg. They're married to twins. But, the president of the Eskimo Legion, recognized the situation and, yeah.
Yeah, every public space should have them, really. They're not expensive anymore.
Absolutely.
What's a life worth?
I did have one thing I wanted to mention, Les.
Go ahead.
I've had some ratepayers, and it's been not in the last 2 weeks, but it's like in the last 2 months, asking me where our OPP coverage is. There's lots of days, and I've spoken to a couple of police officers who say some days they don't even get here on a shift because of all the activity in Espanola they're dealing with. Is there any way that, what is it, a matter of more money for us to have better coverage, or what do we gotta do?
I believe that was raised at the last meeting, and I went back and I did, send an email to the, not staff sergeant, who is she? Anyway, I sent her an email asking her for statistics or for some information with regards to coverage within our municipality, and I haven't got anything back, so I will redo it.
Yeah.
Resend something and
Good.
asking her please to
Absolutely.
have some of this.
We need to know that they've
Yeah.
been here, you know,
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah.
If they're too busy in Espanola, they need to have more guys.
Well, that's no excuse.
That's not an
No.
I
excuse.
mean, we're
Not at all.
still paying.
Their area's
Absolutely.
vast, we're paying.
Espanola's under a different program than we are, so they should be out of,
Well, that's right. We had them, they were doing our policing before, so they got rid of the Espanola police force. They should have hired extra people to cover that. Probably didn't much.
but our police officers from Espanola go to the island as well.
Yeah,
So
oh, I
if
know.
there's-
It's a broad area.
Any other questions, anybody? Okay, be it resolved that the time is 7:20 PM, and this meeting be adjourned until the next regular meeting, and call the chair. All in favor? I move it, Dale and Glenda. All in favor?